Hey yo, what up, fans of the fucking sport? What up? It's Lamech with Sly Sports TV back at it again. Chill. Man, I just watched the David Benavidez versus David Morrell fight, and I gotta say, good fight. Good fight. Good fight by both guys. Good fight. I did not call this fight, did not make a video for this fight. Actually, this is my first boxing video all year, right? Definitely kind of had to shift away from boxing. Just wasn't boxing really hadn't been doing enough, but it did something last night, and we're here to talk about it. I thought it was a good fight. Going into the fight, I guess I was leaning. In my heart of hearts, I felt like Benavidez would win, but I ain't gonna lie. Like, as it led up to the fight, I was leaning more and more towards David Morrell, right? On when they weighed in, Benavidez to me looked a little drained. This information probably would have been better like a couple days ago or yesterday or something like that. But hey, I'm here to talk about it now, right? I thought Benavidez was drained, but apparently he wasn't. And the reason why I say he wasn't is because nothing David Morrell did in that ring affected David Benavidez. David Benavidez, he took plenty of hard shots in this fight, right? He blocked a lot of David Morrell's punches with his gloves, but a lot of them got in as well. But anything that got in, he handled it. He took it well. There's a positive and a negative to that, right? These guys, they can take punches. They can take punches until they can't take the punches no more, and then everything starts getting to them, right? Benavidez is a young guy, but I think he, well, I'll say this: he's a young guy, and he needs to continue to work on his defense. One of the main reasons why David Benavidez's defense was leaky was because he can't keep his hands up, right? Muhammad Ali had this problem as well. He just cannot consistently keep his hands up in a hard guard. He can't do it. So because of that, he relies on his upper body movement and head movement. Well, he doesn't really move his head, but that's what he's relying on. And as well as he has fast hands, so he's relying on being able to pick off whatever you're throwing with his hands, right? Instead of having his guard up, right? So, I mean, it's pluses and minuses to that. To me, honestly, I think with your guard up, I think that just automatically makes you a better counterpuncher, right? When you're trying to block everything with the gloves and counter off, catch and counter everything, sure, you will get in sometimes, but that gets a little predictable, right? That gets a little predictable. Like, guys start knowing exactly what you're going to do. And that's where the danger comes in, right? When people know exactly what you're going to do, that's when the danger comes in. But before I go off on the deep end, David Benavidez fought well in this fight. David Benavidez controlled the fight. He fought a grown man fight tonight, right? David Morrell got a fucking chin. Both these guys got chins. Anybody else would have been knocked out by either one of these guys, right? David Morrell would have knocked out damn near anybody in that division, with the exception of Beterbiev and Bevo, right? I don't think this performance gets him a knockout against those guys, but we would have to see, right? Styles make fights, not narratives. So nothing I see or say here changes anything in real life. We would have to see what they do in real life. And maybe the fact that Morrell has a loss to David Benavidez, maybe he's not as scary now. Maybe guys will get in the ring with him, right? And we'll see if he's really the goods. But honestly, I think David Morrell should, not leap into all these big money fights right now. Right? He needs to continue to grind. I think he has less than 20 fights still. Right? Less than 15 fights in his career. He needs to get back in the win column. Get back in the win column, with some highlight shit. This was a big step up fight for David Morrell, and I think he performed well. I do. I knew going into it he was slow. Not unbelievably slow, but just in comparison to David Benavidez, his punches are very slow. That being said, he got in with his shots because he had a strategy where he would throw his shot. David Benavidez thinks he's blocked the shot, right? The shot. And here comes another shot over the top. And he was catching him with that. Right? He was catching him with that. The fight got a little dirty towards the end. But frankly, one could argue that the fight, and look, I tell it right down, I keep it real. David Benavidez is one of my favorite fighters. David Morrell is not one of my favorite fighters. But with that being said, David Benavidez was employing some dirty boxing throughout the fight. I can say that. He was. And toward the end of the fight, David Morrell just outright dirty with it. Right? He just took the boxing out of it. So that's what happened. Why do I say David Benavidez was dirty boxing? Well, he was doing little things that the referee wasn't picking up on. He was throwing a jab, but then he'd throw the jab and remove one of the gloves from Morrell's high guard, pulling his glove down and nailing with a right hand. Right? Is it legal? No, actually it's not legal, but is it something that's like, ooh, egregious? Like, people do it all the time. Floyd did it, like Muhammad Ali did it. That's a veteran savvy, veteran crafty move, right? It's up to the referee to catch it. And most of them ain't going to. Most of them going to let that shit slide. But David Benavidez was doing that. I think I might have saw an elbow here and there. Right? But later on in the fight, Morrell, he's throwing low blows, he's headbutting. Like one of those headbutts could have been, he's throwing punches after the bell. The punch after the bell, I don't think he should have got deducted a point. I think the only reason he got deducted a point there is because that punch actually, it kind of wobbled Benavidez a little bit, right? That punch affected him. And it was late. See, if he just throws it and David Benavidez kind of shrugs it off, I don't think he gets deducted a point. But the fact that it came late and like that shit could have had an effect on the rest of the match. What if he comes out the beginning of the next round still fucked up from that? So I thought it was a little extra. I get a little tired. I can't remember this referee's name. I get a little tired of every time he's involved, there's some type of controversy. Right? Every time we see his face, there's gonna be something. He's gotta make a grand appearance. He's gotta take a point away, or he's gotta, have a stern warning when it's uncalled for, right? Wasn't as bad as in this fight, but I will say it is kind of eyebrow raising that every time he does a fight, some bullshit happens. Every time. Going forward, I think this is a good fight for David Benavidez. Good fight. Get that guy out of the way, right? Go ahead and get him out of the way. I also think going forward, these guys will fight at least 1 or 2 more times, right? I see these guys fighting 1 or 2 more times. Don't be surprised if Morrell gets won. He wasn't that far away tonight. I just thought Benavidez was he just outclassed him. Benavidez outclassed him. Each round was close, but each round Benavidez, I ain't gonna say every round, but I give Benavidez 8 to 9 rounds out of this fight. And a lot of them were close, but he did more. He did enough to win the rounds. And that's what boxing is about, right? It's not about punch counts. I landed way more punches than him in the fight. It's not about that. When did you land those punches, right? And when did he land his? It's about winning the round, master the round. You know? So it's almost like 12 fights. 12 separate fights in within a fight. You know? You can't get lost, because next thing you know, it's the 8th round and you only got 2 of them. You know? So that's just that type of stuff. It comes with experience. I think both guys fought well. I don't think either guy should feel, I don't think David Morrell should feel ashamed. I think David Benavidez should feel good about this win. Canelo wouldn't have fought Morrell. I don't think Canelo will fight him now. I'm going to go out on a limb and say Canelo still wouldn't fight him. Canelo is a hoe. Right? Canelo is a hoe. But, and I'm going to tell you who else is a hoe, or some hoes, the Lakers. The Lakers went out and traded their best defensive player, Anthony Davis, for Luka Doncic. Do the Lakers realize that it's only one basketball on the court at a time? How in the fuck is that going to work? So many questions about that trade. You trade Anthony Davis, your big man, your one and only big man. You go and get Luka Doncic to play with LeBron James. So let's see. You got Bronny, Luka, and Austin Rivers, right? And who else? That's going to be an absolute shit show. On the flip side, I think Dallas is in contention. I'm not really a Luka Doncic guy. I will say this. His career is fucked now. He is screwed. Luka Doncic, welcome to hell, buddy. Welcome to hell. Like, playing with LeBron James, he don't take no blame, okay? Y'all don't have no big man. Y'all ain't got no defense. It's going to be your fault. He needed somebody so it could be their fault. And it's going to be you, Luka Doncic. We know that you've been the shit. You've been good all your career, right? But now you're going to know that you ain't really that good. Oh, man, the Lakers, man. The fucking Lakers. They traded AD instead of LeBron. Well, we got some things to talk about, right? We got some things to talk about. You got Diddy, you got Jay-Z, you got plenty of stuff to talk about. And we'll get to it. But as for the fight, I think David Benavidez put out a good performance. Didn't get the knockout, but won clearly. He clearly won the fight. Proves that. I mean, his last couple of fights, he's gone the distance. So he's in there boxing guys. Real quick, as far as that is concerned, I think David Morrell is the more technical boxer. So you just put that in your pocket and remember that going forward. Going forward, remember, if these guys fight again, I believe David Morrell is the more technical fighter, right? I think David Morrell is the one that will be able to implement more changes, right? I think David Benavidez, he is what he is now. What he is very good. What that is very good. He's a very good pressure fighter, right? Very good pressure fighter. So nobody's cracked that code yet. Nobody's cracked it yet. So we'll see. Elephant in the room, Canelo's never going to fight David Benavidez, ever. He's never gonna fight him. If Benavidez would have came out here and looked like trash, I guarantee you Canelo would be. I don't want to fight Crawford. I want to fight Benavidez. If Benavidez would have came out here and got washed in the first, second round, Canelo would have. I will give you your shot. For sure. For sure. Benavidez come out going 12 rounds with a rival that Canelo wouldn't afford either. He's not going to fight that guy. And it's never going to happen. As for really quickly, as for other fights like Benavidez versus Beterbiev, I don't think we get that fight. And I honestly, Beterbiev is, by the time we get it, Benavidez will win. You know what I mean? And it won't prove that he's a better fighter than Benavidez. By the time they fight, that fight won't prove that. Like, you can almost say that now. You can really say that now. You can really say, even if they fought tomorrow, if Benavidez wins, it doesn't prove he's a better fighter than Beterbiev. Beterbiev is clearly on the backside of his career. Now, he's still undefeated, still beating the shit out of guys. He beat Bivol, and it wasn't no controversy. He beat him, drowned him in the late rounds. I don't think we get Benavidez versus Beterbiev. Benavidez versus Bivol. I think that could happen. I think that could absolutely happen. And I love that fight. I love it. I don't know yet. You know, I don't know yet, but let's let things work out. We'll see what happens. Anyway, that's all I got. If you like the video, bang off on that like button one time. Peace.